Hello Virgo, and welcome to your reading today. My name is Colette and this is a reading for all you Virgos, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy of Virgos. If you don't know where those placements are, Virgo, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out for yourselves. It's always good to have a bigger view, a bigger picture of what's going on, and that's what a birth chart does for us. It allows us to see where our other signs are, so we can also check out other tarot readings that correspond with that, not just on my channel either. So your date of birth, your time of birth and your place of birth is what's needed to find out where all your astrological signs are if you don't already know that, Virgo. So this reading is a general reading, so it's not going to resonate or correspond with all you Virgos out there. And also for you cross watchers who are in a relationship, want to be in a relationship or have been in a relationship, Virgo, and you're watching this for Virgo, just remember that this energy could actually be telling your story rather than the story of the person that you have that interest in at this time. So I'm starting the reading off today, Virgo, for you with one card from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. And before I forget, I will also say that the cards have been laid out in 3 rows of 3. So the first 3 is your past energy. That can be recent past, it can be past from childhood. It's a past energy that you're still carrying with you. It's a past energy that's still affecting your present energy, which is the middle set of cards, and then the last set of cards is the future energy, which talks about the past, present, creating the future that is in the making, so to speak. So the first card, is the Spirit Animal Oracle, which today you have got the turkey, and I just seem to be getting birds and nothing else at this time. Honestly, you'd think that that was the only creature in this Spirit Animal Oracle deck. So, turkey. Give with gratitude and grace, it talks about. There's no coincidence that the turkey is the main part of a Christmas dinner, because the turkey stems from Thanksgiving. It stems from the Native American Indians who saw the turkey as giving them everything that they needed, because in Native American Indian society they would use everything from any animal that they killed or ate. They would eat all of the the flesh, and they would use everything else for different things. So basically no part of that animal ever went to waste, regardless of what the animal was. And so give with great gratitude and grace is kind of where that comes from. It's like the turkey is giving of itself. And it's a similar thing here for you, Virgo. It's saying give of yourself. It doesn't have to be money. It can be time. It can be your energy. It can be a gift. It can be advice. It just talks about freely giving something to those around you who are in need of receiving at this time. And that the more you give freely, the more you accumulate for yourself, the more you receive back. So it is about that energy of giving and receiving, really. But it also helps to see the abundance when you're able to give something freely. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't come back from the same source as well. It doesn't have to necessarily just come back from the same person that you give to. That source or the receiving could come from somebody else entirely uninvolved with the original expression of you giving as well. So it's kind of staying awake and aware to that fact. But giving with a willingness is really what this card is talking about. So the first card we have for the tarot reading here, for your past energy, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. And for me today, this card is coming through as you feeling as though you weren't involved in something, that somebody didn't give you all the information or the answers that you needed about something here, Virgo. It feels like being cut out of something, being cut off from something, being kind of I don't want to say entrapped, but because it's a Page of Swords, it's a young energy, it's an energy that's learning. And often with the Page of Swords, or the Swords energy, it's about curiosity, it's about wanting answers, it's about needing to know. And so that's why I feel as though this is something about you kind of being blocked, is more what's coming through here. Blocked from knowing or giving all the answers or the knowledge about something, about a certain situation possibly in your life. And from that energy, we have the Eight of Cups. There's a lot of blue in these two cards as well. So there could have been kind of like a sadness or a sorrow around here, because this is about walking away from something. And it could have been that you had to walk away. You may not have wanted to walk away because this is in reverse. It could have been a situation where you felt you had no choice, that the choice was taken away from you, and you had to do something about leaving that decision, leaving that situation, whatever that situation may have been. Oh, and before I forget, when I was meditating on the energy earlier, on the cards in general, I got a message of, it was either to do with spinning in circles, or spinning in circles, like a spinning top, spinning in circles, or like spinning off from something, like separating and spinning away from something, or going round in circles. Was kind of, the whole thing was to do with kind of going round and round, or spinning off, or yeah, going round in circles was the the message that came through there. So I don't know if that makes any sense to any Virgos out there. My voice, I will apologise for my voice at the moment. It's gone a bit croaky and a bit rough. So from the Eight of Cups, from you walking away from whatever this kind of blocked situation was, it put you into a place of strength. It also put you into a place of kind of maturing, growing up from this kind of Page of Swords energy, where you may also have wanted to retaliate about something here with the Page of Swords. Because it's a young energy, it can be an energy that kind of reacts quickly without thinking things through. It can be sharp. Kind of barbed words, vicious. This could be your energy, Virgo. This could have been you that experienced this done to you, or this could have been you doing this in the situation that you found yourself in. And it could have been because of the fact that you were feeling blocked out, and you felt as though that was your kind of only way of expressing or communicating, was by not being particularly mature about it. Maybe not on purpose, but just that was the kind of situation that you were in at the time. And it could have been that it was coming from also a place of kind of fear, because I do also feel it was an energy of not really knowing what was going on around you at that time. And the Strength card here talks to me about the masculine and the feminine balance of the energies here, about the more kind of like knowing when to roar, when to express that anger and that kind of outward expression. And knowing when to tame it, knowing when to hold it back, when to kind of come from a more gentler approach, a place of more, like I was saying, like with this energy here, this would be this energy here, which could be very like spontaneous, but also kind of very like suddenly turning on somebody type of energy. Like almost like an energy that was not in your control is kind of how it feels. Argumentative, difficult, brought out the worst in you is how it's feeling. An energy that didn't bring out your better side here, Virgo. But it has kind of taught you that not everything has to be dealt with in that manner, in that fashion, that you can get results by being more, what's the word I'm thinking of here, more thoughtful, not just thoughtful, but like coming from a place of more maturity in a way, more like this is more the wild, untamed beast side really, and this is like the energy of almost like calculated, but at the same time kind of looking at the full picture, like kind of trying to kind of take everything in, and understanding which is the best energy that's needed for the situation that you find yourself in at the time. So this is about maturity, it is about growing up, it is about kind of taming this beast, as I was saying, kind of finding that inner strength within, but also realizing that sometimes that inner strength can be more of a gentle strength. It can be something that's more subtle. And the energy of the first card here for your present is the Moon card in reverse. And this is also why with the Page of Swords here as well, I feel that there is still this unknown element to this. With the Moon in reverse, I always see this as being kind of like the dark moon, the new moon, the moon that's not revealed, what you're not seeing, what you're not being shown, what you're not understanding even, because you're not being given the full picture. Being kept in the dark about something, literally, not being able to come from a place of, and it feels like not being able to come from a place of strength, literally, because this energy is not allowing you to feel that strength, that inner strength. Again, I'm seeing these two animals as representing these kind of two different qualities of the gentleness and the kind of wilder beast. So this can be a confusing time as well with the moon energy, because often we have to try and put the pieces together ourselves, kind of trying to like make sense of something. But because we don't have all the information, we don't have all the knowledge that we need at that time, we don't know whether the story that we come up with, or the kind of result of our imagining, or imagining this is how it is, although we don't know for definite. And that's kind of what can cause that confusion and that kind of like, is it or isn't it? Am I right? Am I wrong? Kind of element here, which can also lead to a kind of sense of like, am I going mad? Am I going insane? Which is very much a kind of moon energy as well. But when the moon is in reverse as well, it could also be that you yourself are kind of doing this, Virgo. You could be the one that is keeping things in the dark. You could be the one that is not revealing any of this information. Keeping things to yourself, keeping secrets to yourself. Secrets as well as kind of just not wanting to, or not ready to give the full picture away yet. And this could also be with the moon energy, the kind of spinning thing as well that I was talking about, like spinning in circles, trying to kind of, like a dog, catch your own tail. Going over the same thing. The very centre of your reading, which for me is always the most important card in the reading, as I see it as the energy where it kind of emanates and out and goes back into the centre of the reading. We have this very fiery, very intimidating looking King of Wands here. It's a very strong card to me, this one. It's the energy of Aries, the energy of Leo, and also Sagittarius. So it could be at this time, Virgo, that you are acting from this energy, that you are taking this energy on board. It could be that you have Leo in your own chart, which is the previous energy. So you may want to check out that reading, especially if you're a cusp Virgo coming out of that Leo energy, 0 degrees of Virgo. And while I'm explaining that, we'll also say if you are a cusp, you could be the other end of the Virgo energy, which is the 29 degrees, moving into the Libra energy as well. But this is a very, very strong, feels like won't take no for an answer, or no messing about. Even his helmet is very intimidating. And it feels like somebody who's very, it's an energy of, how can I put it, like somebody who is very sociable, kind of magnetic, draws big crowds to them, big group of friends, possibly likes to be the centre of the group or centre of attention. So this may not be your energy, Virgo, although like I was saying, it could be. Almost feels like a boss energy as well on some level, like this person has a lot of kind of creative drive and fire and very kind of quick to react at times. And also it feels like they will not take any messing. It's like you don't mess with this person, at least not more than once. And on the other side of this King of Wands, we have the Eight of Wands. So again, with the Moon on one side and the Eight on the other, it does feel as though there is something that is not being expressed, communicated, shown. Could also feel as though life isn't going easily at this time, Virgo, that things are not kind of running smoothly for you. This is I just get the feeling with this King though, it's a very powerful energy, almost like a very dominant energy. An energy of somebody who it feels as though they're not content with just being in there. Like this person is not a typical home person. They're very much somebody who wants adventure. They want to explore. They want to look further, know more. A driven person, somebody who's very driven, which could be your energy at this time, Virgo, as I said, or it could be somebody or a situation that you're in at this time, or a person around you. We also have the Knight of Wands here, but the Knight of Wands is in reverse. And he's riding, if you see, he's actually riding a dragon that's kind of spilling out all this fire as well. Which I'm also kind of getting a connection with this card here as well for some reason. Again, this could be somebody who has a lot of fire in their makeup, in their astrological makeup. Somebody who's quick to flare up. Somebody who's quick to, possibly even quick to take offence. Somebody who's quite kind of, like they can be quite prickly. They can kind of take things very much to heart. Somebody who may overreact as well. If this is the same person, could be somebody who overreacts that you're kind of dealing with at this time, Virgo. Or again, it could be a situation. But we also have here the Three of Cups, straight after the Knight of Wands. Three of Cups can be seen as a card of reconciliation, of bringing something back together. But when it's in reverse, it feels more as though this is a time of you kind of not wanting to put your energy into any of this. Again, it can be a situation, person in your life. But it feels as though the Knight of Wands here is kind of saying, I'm not doing this, I'm not playing this game, I'm not putting any of my energy into this. And so for me, the Three of Cups can also be a card of making a decision about whether you want to continue with something. Is it the right thing for you? Is it something you should continue with? Does it feel right? On an emotional level, does it feel right? Does it make you want to continue with it? Does it make you want to invest in it even? whether that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. Because after the Three of Cups, we have the Hangman energy here. So it feels as though there's something here that you are kind of removing your energy from, shall we say. Because the Hangman is all about going above something, trying to see something from a bigger perspective. It's sacrifice, sacrificing something or releasing something, letting something go. Yeah, letting something go. When you let something go, you kind of make space for something else. There's a willingness with this because it's up the right way. So it's like you have willingly, Virgo, decided to put yourself into that place of just kind of, it's like, I don't know and I don't need to know. I just need to trust that things will be resolved, that things like, it's like things, it will be illuminated, it will become clear. And it's kind of feeling a bit like these two swords here. This energy with these two swords. Like changing the energy, energetically, removing yourself from something is going to change that energy. And you had another card come out with this one. You had the Ace of Wands. Again, this kind of looks a bit like the Hangman energy here as well. The way it's kind of hanging, it is upside down and it is lit up as well. So there is this kind of illumination, which I feel is taking place or will be taking place. Again, more fire energy, more heat, more almost feels as well like something to do with the backbone or the spine here, kind of running down the center here, like this is the head and this is the spine area. I don't know what that's about, but that's what's coming through. It could also have something to do with the chakras, because the chakras run along that spinal column. But the Ace of Wands can be a reigniting, not quite sure what I'm trying to say here, reigniting a situation. But I feel for this particular reading here, it's more about kind of illuminating something. It's really about kind of seeing something clearly, which up till now has not been clearly seen, understood. The triangle here as well, and the triangle on her face, but this one's in reverse, so like all the energy here is kind of pointing down. So this could have also have something to do with the chakras, like coming from the base, lower vibrational energy chakras here into more of this kind of higher vibrational awareness. There's a volcano exploding in the background as well. And it does feel like with both of these energies, that there is a lot of this energy around, this fire energy. Can also be sexual energy as well. The Ace of Wands. It could be frustration when it's up the wrong way. A frustrating energy of things not working, going your way, the way that you want them to go. But it feels more like the sense of kind of, I was saying, like Kundalini energy, chakra energy, like this massive realization about something, like something literally being kind of ignited, realized, illuminated to you. So we'll see what that energy is all about for you, Leo. Do some confirmation cards here for Leo. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy for Leo, please. Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy of Leo, please. What is the energy for Leo, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp for this time? Okay, let's see what we get. Page of Swords. Nine of Pentacles, but it's up the right way. Nine of Pentacles for me is about a sense of your own self-worth, your own kind of realizing how far you've come in on a journey or a situation that you're in, rather than kind of looking ahead and seeing how far you have yet to go, or believing that you have yet to go. So it's kind of saying that you had actually, with the Nine of Pentacles, gone through quite a lot to get there, to actually get to this point of achievement, of success almost, like just one step away from that. And that you were still growing through all of this, even if it was difficult, even if it was harsh, even if there were like a sense of kind of like a harsh environment, like things that were said were not pleasant, and the atmosphere itself was not pleasant, but there was still, you still managed to kind of create your own space within it all, where you could focus on your growth. Is how it's coming through. But you didn't let it deter you, Virgo. You didn't let it undermine you, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like undervalue yourself because of it. You kind of kept on going. You kind of in some ways you grew through it, it feels like, Virgo. You grew through this energy. Which is possibly also where we've got that strength card at the end there as well. Because it does feel as though it's something that you, in fact, I would say that you learnt to value yourself more than you had previously. You came to see your self-worth as being much more important than the situation itself was. Because over the Eight of Cups, as you were walking away from this situation, you're actually walking into this situation with the Eight of Pentacles, which for me is very much about growth, about you focusing your attention and your time on your growth, on what was good for you, rebuilding. Is how it's feeling. Nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, taking care of your needs, Virgo. Again, rather than taking care of the needs of the situation at the time, it feels like. Rather than letting the situation bring you down or take you over, you just kind of did what was necessary and just got on with whatever it was that the timing was kind of calling for you to do at that time. And although with the Eight of Cups you may have walked away from something, and it may have been, like I was saying, it may have been painful, you kind of, it feels as though you kind of, in a way, may have buried that. You may even have used it to kind of focus on yourself more. To grow something out of it. But with the Strength card here, we have the Five of Wands over the top. And the Five of Wands can be seen as a card of conflict and a card of difficulties, strife, arguments. It can also be a card of battling with yourself as well, which is kind of what's coming through for me with this Strength card, because that's how I see this energy, is that kind of battling with those kind of two different, again, with these, like, you know, you've got the wilder side of your nature and the more kind of tamed, gentler. It's the same here as well. So You could well have kind of internalized things, which again I think feel with this Eight of Cups energy here as well, that you internalized it, which could also be this Page of Swords, where you kind of blocked it all out. It was like you put up these kind of boundaries perhaps. So anyway, that's how I'm seeing this Five of Wands here. But it's kind of taught you, it's helped you to learn more about yourself. It hasn't been easy because the Five of Wands is in reverse. And if you look here, there's kind of lots of people all with these wands kind of warring, fighting, clashing. But that's how it's coming through for me today. Kind of this is more about an internal struggle or an internal battle with how you responded to something. Rather than outwardly clashing with people or places or things that were around you at that time, you internalized it. And the battle, like I said, Virgo, became with yourself rather than with the greater outside world, which is also, I think, why the moon is here in reverse. And why the King of Wands is in the centre as well, because it has given you this kind of inner strength. Well, that's interesting because we have the Hangman twice. This time it's in reverse over the top of the moon. And with the moon in reverse and the Hangman in reverse, there's a lot of well, it goes very much, I feel as though this is this energy here, this internal struggle, this internal battle. Because if you look at this card here, it's kind of just floating in the water there, which is kind of represented also by the moon, the emotions. It kind of represents the water, represents the emotions. So it's kind of you just kind of hanging in your own emotional kind of stupor in a way, your own emotional soup, for want of a better word. But there's all these kind of piranha fish nibbling away. So it's like there's no peace there. It's like being nibbled at, like kind of, and at the same time kind of sacrificing yourself or giving of yourself to the situation. Letting go, releasing something. But it also, because it's in reverse, it also feels as though it wasn't a peaceful situation. It wasn't like this one, which is much more kind of illuminating and more you in control and in charge of the fact that you are doing this. This one feels as though it was much more kind of situation that you had no choice but to put yourself in that place. Possibly again because you didn't know everything that was that was involved in the situation. Possibly because you were kept outside of a situation. But it does feel as though this was like an uncomfortable situation, this one. There was kind of, like I was saying, there were these things kind of biting at you, like not allowing you to rest or find that peace that you were kind of looking for, hoping for, like not allowing you to get to that point of illumination, which you're coming to in the future energy. So at this time you could be finding yourself in just a state of real confusion, Virgo, a real kind of like not understanding why, how, what happened. Because it is over the top of the moon, which, when, as I said, when it's in reverse for me, it's always like a dark moon, no light. You have the Eight of Chalices again, so the Eight of Cups twice, but this time it is upright over the top of the King of Wands. And like I said, it could be that this time it's like there's no messing. It's like with this Eight of Cups was more a situation of internalizing things, walking away, but internalizing everything. Whereas this one, it feels much more as though you are kind of taking responsibility for it in a way. Taking responsibility, there's still this energy of confusion around it though. And the King of Wands, I think, is you kind of guarded as well. Although you're upright and you are in a place of kind of real, it feels like strength. Even strength from this energy here as well. Possibly even kind of realizing what it is that you've left behind, what it is that you've walked away from, but that's actually making you feel stronger. Whereas before it may have made you feel weaker, as though you were being kind of drained from the situation. Even though with the Eight of Pentacles there as well, it does talk about more growth than... But again, I feel that was inner growth rather than the focusing on the outer. The Eight of Chalices can also talk about needing to go deeper into something. Try and get through all that confusion and misunderstandings possibly. But there is also this sense of not wanting to communicate at this time, or that things are not running smoothly. As I was saying, things aren't just kind of falling into place. But we do have the star over the top. So it's saying, don't give up. Don't give up, even if things are seemingly difficult and not just kind of easygoing, going along with the flow of things. The star in the upright position is saying there is still hope. Don't give up. There is still, you are still connected to the bigger energy. Just trying to see what that is there. It actually looks like a person that's being kind of held up by these flowers and these stars. Look at the positive, is what I feel it's saying. It could well be to do with the turkey spirit energy over here as well. The abundant energy of give with gratitude and grace, and to look for the positive. Because the star is a card of optimism. It's saying no matter how much you feel as though it's all coming at you at once, which can be kind of this sense of everything all happening at the same time that you're having to deal with. The star is actually saying that, you know, eventually it will pass. Eventually it will pass too. It all will pass. It won't always be this way. Don't give up on hope. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on moving forward. It won't always be that way. It won't always stay the same way. Things will change. Because everything changes eventually. Even if it doesn't seem like it. Especially with two hangman cards here. You may feel, Virgo, as though this has been going on for a long time, dragging out for a long time. And that you're not feeling like you're getting anywhere. But the Death card here is saying that there is something coming to an end. There is a transformation taking place here. Over the top of the Knight of Wands. It kind of feels like this consuming energy, the Knight of Wands, because he wants to explore the Knight of Wands. He wants to kind of be creative and have lots of like tricks up his sleeve and kind of amazing ideas or plans or possibilities, things, lots of people, places and things that he wants to see, he wants to experience, enjoy. But when it's in reverse, it's that kind of like feeling stuck energy again. but it's because there is this death taking place within you. There is this change that is occurring on a much deeper level, which is going to affect everything else. And it's kind of recognizing it as well, recognizing that it is a death, it is an ending, it is a final a finality, that something is changing, something is dying, and it could be something within yourself, this part of your life that you've put this energy into, which is no longer the same. As I was saying here with this hope card, that things do change. And this death card is kind of saying exactly that. Things are changing on a very deep and significant level, which you may not be aware of. This is the energy that is coming into your life. This is the future energy. But another interesting thing about the death card as well is that symbolically we go through many, many deaths in our lives. We go from being kind of single to being in a relationship or being married. That's a death of our single life. When we have children, that's a death of our single life as well. So there's lots of different deaths, mini kind of deaths, and in a way it's saying you need to kind of mourn it. You need to be allowed to let that go. And that could also be what this hangman energy is about here as well. Because here with the Three of Cups, I do feel as though there is this kind of in reverse as well. If you see these two masks here, it kind of feels like a death of something significant, like a partnership, and something that you maybe have been thinking about trying to bring back to life. The Three of Cups is kind of saying in reverse that when something's over, it's over. Too many, not taking all of them. When something's over, it's over. When something changes, it changes. And that it's okay to mourn it. It's okay to realize it, to give yourself the space to let it go, to release it. Because we have the Queen of Wands and the Page of Chalices. So the Queen of Wands over the top of this is kind of saying to me that there has been this magnetic, very strong connection with this person. You've got the King and the Queen energy here. And that even as you kind of move forward, there is still this connection. There's still this kind of, how can you put it? It's like a subtle kind of, I wouldn't even say it was a hope, but it's like, it's like knowing it can't happen, but that doesn't stop you from thinking it would be nice. It would be nice if. But like I was saying, on another level, it's like you know that that's not going to happen. And I feel that you know it's not the right thing as well. And that this is part of the energy that you're needing to let go of here. This Queen of Wands energy. Kind of all-consuming. And again, it could be a person, it could be a place. But it's kind of, again, that all-consuming energy. Something that is very kind of linked in with you somehow. That you connect with on a deep, possibly spiritual level. Virgo. But you do have the Page of Chalices come out after this as well. So the Page of Chalices is kind of the early stirrings of wanting to know what love is really like. Kind of allowing yourself to get to that place of healing, and this is the card kind of thinking, is it possible to do this again? Not necessarily with the same person, but is it possible to do this again? To allow somebody into my life again, to give my love to somebody else, to kind of receive that love from somebody else. Is that possible? Because I do feel as well, Virgo, that there still is this kind of energy in the background here. Which for some of you, it could be that you want to reconcile with this person. It could be that this person doesn't want to reconcile with you. Or it could be the other way around, that they want to reconcile with you, but you don't want to reconcile with them. Again, this doesn't have to be a person. This could also be a situation. It could be a family member, a friend. But it just feels like something that is kind of pulling you back. But you're having to let go of it because of the Death card here. Because something is being transformed on a deeper level. On a deeper emotional level as well. So we have the Queen of Swords come out over the top of your Hangman and your Ace of Wands energy. And the Queen of Swords is quite a formidable character. She's somebody who you don't kind of mess about with. Again, this could be your energy, Virgo. This could be you kind of not communicating, or again, it feels like something that's not being communicated. It feels like something that's on a deeper logical, like on a mind level. The Queen of Swords, like I said, formidable, can be an energy of standoffishness, an energy of wanting respect. In this card here, she's literally kind of I wouldn't necessarily say taming this bird, but she is very much kind of bringing it to heel in a way. words that are going through my head. What were those words? They just went through my head. Bringing it to heal. Rendering it defenseless. Rendering it, yeah, because she's kind of wrapping this lasso, this loop around its beak. And it's actually, in other pictures, you can see it's got really sharp teeth, this bird. And so she's rendering it defenseless. She's stopping it from being able to attack. So this could be something that you feel the need to do, Virgo. If this is a person or a situation in your life, it's often somebody who's very kind of authoritarian in their approach to things, very logical. And it could be you, this Queen of Swords could be you that is kind of rendering this beast. Defenseless, taming it. I'm going to put some more cards on that one in particular. Over the top of the Hangman and the Ace of Wands. Subduing it somehow as well. Another word that's coming to mind is she's subduing its kind of wilder, again, that wild, untamed nature. And it could be something that you kind of realise as well, if you are the bird and the Queen is somebody else here, this situation, that you have been rendered, or you have, like, you're going to realise that you have been in that situation, that somebody has kind of put maybe a gag order on somebody as well, literally. Maybe somebody has actually gagged somebody from being able to speak out about something here. Maybe for some of you, for very few of you, that could be the case, but it feels like there is this situation of keeping something stum, and that this is you here, Virgo, and this is what's happened to you, and you're kind of realising that things were not quite as they appeared. Also with this moon, this Hangman energy as well. Double Hangman energy, that things weren't necessarily as they appeared, as you thought they were. That this Queen had a lot more control over you than necessarily you thought at the time. I will just pull one more card, even though it's kind of making more sense to me now. Again, if you're a cross watcher here, and making more sense to swap the cards around, or the images, the characters, then, and again, before I forget, it doesn't have to be a female. Just because I'm using the Queen energy here, it can be male or female. There is no gender biased, shall we say. It's just the energy I only say what I see on the card because it's easier rather than kind of trying to express it a different way. Yeah, sorry, cross watchers. Just cross over whichever energy you think is more appropriate for yourselves. And there was a card that fell. Yep, here it is. Sorry about this. Oh, let's see what we have. The Eight of Wands again. And again it's in reverse. Twice. So this feels like an energy of not being able to see the wood for the trees until you kind of escape. That could also be what this is about, as well as escaping something. Could have just also felt like there was a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of distractions. But it's like now you're seeing through things, you're seeing it a lot clearer than it was before, Virgo. You're seeing the bigger picture, you're understanding. For some of you, it could even have been a third party with this Three of Cups in reverse. It could have been a third party situation where somebody walked away from somebody else and offered their cup to somebody else here as well. Again, this is the future energy. So somebody could have realised that there has been this third party situation. That could also be what this Death card here is about. And also with the Knight of Wands as well in reverse, you can be a player. You can be somebody who's very kind of grass is greener on the other side of the fence until he gets there, and then realises a bit too late that it actually wasn't as green as he thought it was. So let's see what the Abraham Hicks cards would like to say and the advice they would like to offer for you, Virgo, at this time. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus, rising and cusp energy of Virgo, please. Please, source energy. Okay. I am a physical extension of source energy. There we go. And it says, everything in your physical environment was created from non-physical perspective by that which you call source, God, universe, creative energy. And just as source created your world and you through the power of focused thought, you, from your leading edge place in this time, space, reality, are continuing to create your world. Picture of a sunflower. So it's saying that Source created the world, the bigger world that we all inhabit, but we, as Source energy, create our own reality within that world that the Source energy creates for us. And maybe that is also part of this awakening or this illumination. I'm kind of suddenly seeing the wood for the trees here as well. Virgo. So one last card, a crystal card for you to work with at this time, Virgo. Which is the best crystal card for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Venus rising and cusp energy for Virgo, which is the best crystal for them to be working with at this time, please, Source energy. Source energy, which is the best card for Virgo to be working with at this time, please. Sun has set outside, it's got a lot darker. Sun, Moon, Venus rising and cusp energy for Virgo, please, Source energy. Doesn't want to give you a crystal card, Virgo. Interesting. Crystal. Oh, here we go. I'll take that one. Okay, we get Zincite Sensuality. Very orange looking looking crystal, should I say? 44. 44. Kind of reminded me of that Ace of Wands that you've got there as well. So the chakra is the Sacral Chakra, which is the chakra between the lower chakra and the solar plexus. So it's a mixture of the red and the yellow, creating the orange. And its colour is deep orange, red and light orange. So it's all around that area. So it's kind of the stomach area, which I do believe is Virgo's ruling area, that Virgo rules over the stomach and tends to get a lot of kind of problems with his stomach because of anxiety and things that can happen. So sensuality can be a physical, emotional or spiritual experience. A bite of your favourite chocolate pie, a beautiful voice singing the ocean's warm, a beautiful voice singing the ocean's warm waves lapping at your legs, your cat's purr, walking barefoot on cool grass, sipping a lemonade, the texture of velvet, a massage, the smell of popcorn, holding hands, union with the divine. One of the most delightful ways to explore the realm of sensuality is through sex. However, sex appears to be a troublesome area. Many humans are confused about whether sexual pleasure is good or bad. Society's messages are mixed on this issue too. Movies, TV, books and music are filled with sexual erotica. Sexual exploitation sells toothpaste, cars and computers. Humans learn more about the dance of sensuality from the media than from their own instincts. By all appearances, your world seems very sexually orientated. And yet, many of your religious institutions teach that sex is an act of functionality, intended primarily to populate the planet with more like-minded humans, thereby perpetrating particular belief systems. They neglect to discuss or endorse its pleasurable sensations. In many cultures, you have been taught that when you give in to your sexual instincts, you revert to degenerate behaviour. Sensuality implies a loss of control and therefore must be bad. Many of you who are well adjusted and sexually active may still have some unconscious hang-ups about sex. Is feeling pleasure hedonistic, immoral and depraved, or is it blissful, ecstatic and sacred? Some of your past programming affects your enjoyment of sex. Regardless of what anyone tells you, the major purpose of sex is not to make babies. Sex was designed to give you pleasure. If all the great creator wanted was for humans to procreate, the most boring clinical methods would have worked just as well. Instead, sexual pleasure is intended as an explosion of the senses. It blends anticipation, excitement, and euphoria with intimacy. Sexual fulfillment is a divine gift. It replicates on the physical plane the joy of ultimate union with the universe. It is the feeling of losing yourself and finding yourself both at the same moment. Sensuality is designed to create a greater sense of self-awareness. Unfortunately, some of you have had negative experiences with sex, making the accompanying physical pleasure seem obscene. If you felt pleasure in those instances, you are not a bad person. Your body's response and the psychological or emotional trauma you endured operate separately. You were sensing the natural instrumentation of your body. It is programmed to elicit pleasurable feelings during sexual activity. Or your problem may be just the opposite. Perhaps you have linked your current sexual activity with past unpleasant incidents. If so, you may not be experiencing pleasure at all. Look at your present situation and determine whether it works for your highest good or not. If it does not, get out of it. If it does, recognize that the past experience and the present one are not the same. Appreciate the new one for what it is, and if possible, try to let go of the other. That's kind of what I was feeling down here. Moving on from something, but there is still this kind of strong desire and sexual pull towards a strong connection. Appreciate the new one for what it is, and if possible, try to, okay. If you need more clarity or support, seek professional help. Remember that you celebrate your life and yourself when you feel pleasure. That could also be, as I was saying, why this is in reverse as well, because the Ace of Wands often depicts sexual activity and upsurge of desire, but not when it's in reverse. If you have drawn this card, take a look at how much sensuality and pleasure you are allowing into your life. Pleasure is part of the joy of life, waiting to share itself with you. It is the nature of the senses to operate sensually. If you cut yourself off from sensuality, you miss out on so much of the human experience. Why have these senses if you only experience them at such a small percentage of their power? The law of the universe is balance. Balance is the ideal state. That's a sense of balance. Each of the chakras oversees an area of human potential. Each is subject to excess or deprivation. If each area gets exercised equally, your life will be balanced. I have a feeling there was something to do with the chakras. Maybe it's talking about working with the lower chakras here, Virgo. But you need to work with the lower basis chakras, the root chakra, the red chakra, the orange chakra and the yellow chakra. Maybe there is some problem there. Maybe there's a sexual problem there, a fertility problem there. So many non-physical beings yearn for your corporeal existence. To sense, to feel is a special privilege. Do not deny the life force within you. Enjoy this great gift. We rejoice in your sensuality and your humanity. So maybe you want to buy yourself a piece of zincite, Virgo, to work with at this time. You will be able to get some online, I'm sure, even though I don't think it's a very common crystal. So I'm going to leave your reading there, Virgo, and say I hope that it has been of some help to you. I hope that you have learnt something from it. If you have, please could you thumbs it up for me. The more thumbs up it gets, the better, broader kind of getting it out into the YouTube world, as I call it, where it can get picked up by other people can see it, it can get put onto channels where it's recommended, and when it's recommended, more people are likely to watch it and come back to my channel and hopefully look at my other videos. Also, thank you very much to those of you who have liked my videos. If you have subscribed to my channel already, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you being here. If you haven't, please could you join, because I would love to have you here on my channel. I have been away for about 3 months. I have kind of in my other videos been explaining I had a Saturn, Mercury, Mars square happen almost immediately. Saturn and Jupiter became conjunct in Aquarius, and it just kind of stopped everything. Everything just came to a crashing halt. So I am now back. I do all the new moon, full moon videos. I do all the zodiac signs. I have a playlist as well if you're interested in checking that out. I don't put dates or times because crap happens all the time. So there are titles. If anything jumps out at you, Virgo, and you think, oh, that sounds like it's kind of interesting, or it's resonating with you at that time, then it's your video for that time and that moment. Please also share this video if you know anybody else who may be in a similar situation or can benefit from this video. It would be great to move it on, help other people as much as possible. So, as it says, like the giveaway with the turkey, give it away, keep it going. Yes, so I'm going to leave it at that and say thank you very much for listening and watching my video, Virgo, and please take really good care of yourself and take good care of anybody else around you at this time. Hopefully see you again soon.